Hey, what's going on, guys? Master Shields here, Champions Martial Arts Center. This is Talk Tuesday, episode number 2. Hey, what's up, guys? Master Shields here, Champions Martial Arts Center. This is episode 2 of Talk Tuesday. Today we're talking about confidence, bullying, and how to get your kids to listen. So without further ado, let's dive into the show. Question number 1. How do I get my kids to be more confident and overcome self-esteem issues? So first, we have a really awesome report on our website. If you go to championsmac.com and click on the Kids tab page, you can download a free report on how to boost your child's self-confidence. This is a very good report that we put together to really help parents like yourself understand what are some things they can do to really help their kids. So some of the biggest things that we can do to help them is really make sure they understand that they are valuable and that they are important. A lot of times within society now, if you watch TV or listen to music, you have to look a certain way, you have to dress a certain way, you have to weigh a certain weight, you have to wear a certain kind of clothing. These are all things that are etched in our brains because that's what society says is normal. Our kids believe this. So many times our kids are telling us that they're not cool, that they're ugly, that they're fat, that they're this, they're that. And it's because that's what they're constantly hearing. They're hearing that from their friends. They're hearing that from the media. And in some cases, they hear that from their parents. And so the biggest things that we need to understand in with building our kids' confidence is it comes from our leaders, yourself as a parent, and what your kids are watching and listening. Those are very important things. So number 1, really help teach your kids positive self-statements. What I mean by that, again, is if your kids are saying, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm not cool, those are things that they're hearing from someone else, that they're believing. And so if we're constantly teaching our kids, hey, you're awesome. Hey, I'm proud of you. I love you. You're beautiful. You're pretty. You did an amazing job. Kids are going to start to believe that. If you constantly hear something a numerous amount of times, you start to believe that. If someone constantly tells you, hey, you are ugly, and they tell you that every single day for the next 2-3 weeks, you're going to start to question yourself after the first few. So think about your kids. They're in a society that's just, it's so judging. And so if your kids are constantly hearing negativity, they're probably believing that. So the most important thing that you're doing for your kids to help boost their confidence is teach them positive statements, positive self-statements. So on a daily basis, as a parent, I want you to tell them that they're beautiful, that they're handsome, that you're proud of them, that you love them, that they're amazing, that they're awesome. One drill that we do here at our school, we call it a praise machine and a good finder. So you're constantly going back and forth with your kids and you're telling them, good job, awesome, way to go, beautiful, excellent. Now they're really getting a great feeling and a positive feeling about what they're doing and what they've done. And so if they're hearing that on a daily basis, now they're going to start thinking more positively. Now they're going to start believing those things that they're hearing. And so when someone else tells them something that is not true, they're going to be able to brush it off because they have this positive self-statement that they're able to develop on a daily basis because they're thinking that you're helping instill that in them and you're really helping them overcome any self-esteem issues and confidence issues that they're having. Number 2 is avoid criticism that takes the form of ridicule or shame. A lot of times I hear parents, whenever they're talking to kids, is they're telling them, gosh, you're so stupid, or I can't believe you, you're an idiot, why would you spill grape juice on the carpet, or you're just like your father, I can't believe you're so dumb, what's wrong with you? Those aren't things that are going to help your kids. A lot of the times as parents, we get frustrated when our kids don't do something or if we don't like what they've done, and so we get frustrated and upset. And sometimes, we're humans, we have, we make mistakes and we mess up and we say things that we shouldn't. But, if you take a step back and you really look at your kids and you really think, am I getting mad at something that is actually worth getting mad at and upset at? Or can I talk to my kids and correct the behavior? So a lot of times parents at our school understand and they learn what the concept is. It's called PCP, praise, correct, praise. We spoke on this last week for the show. The biggest thing whenever you're punishing your kids in a sense, rather than talking down to them, correct what they've done. Let them know this is the behavior that is incorrect and this is what they should have done. Give them a positive alternative, but then you can still scold them without being negative, without telling them how horrible they are or what an idiot they are for doing something so stupid. And so really work on your words as a parent to help them. That's going to help put them up and uplift them rather than bring them down, because if we're trying to help their confidence levels, but we're constantly telling them how stupid they are because of a mistake they made, we're not really helping them, we're hurting them, and we're just adding fuel to the fire, and we're not really going to help them achieve what they want to, which is a higher self-confidence issue. So again, whenever you're punishing your kids, make sure you're coming down to their level and talking to them in a way that they understand, and really correct the behavior, give them a positive alternative without hurting their feelings, without being negative. That's a big thing we see a lot with parents, and if we can fix that, I guarantee you confidence levels will skyrocket. Those are big things that we need to do. The last one is teach decision making and help them recognize that when they make a good decision, that it's good. And when they make positive statements about themselves and others, that's good too. A lot of times, again, like I said, whenever our kids are talking to us and we ask them questions, they try and keep these one-word answers, and they don't really dive into the meat of the substance of the conversation, because there's a confidence issue. Maybe they're worried about something, maybe they're scared of something, and so just really understanding and teaching them that, hey, you can make good decisions. Hey, it's okay to make a mistake. Everybody does. Let's find the alternative, find the positive outcome, and really focus on positivity. Those are things that will truly help your kids have higher confidence levels and feel better about themselves. Those are very valuable. So again, for our report that we have, there's 5 or 6 things on this report that'll help you. We're only covering 3 in this video. So again, go to the website. I'll attach the link down below, and you can download that report and print it off, put it on your fridge, and use those things on a daily basis to help your kids become more confident people. Question number 2 that we have is all about bullying. How do I help my child deal with bullying? A lot of times as parents, we get frustrated because we see our kids hurting and we don't know what to do. We don't have the answer. We can't just go to the school and confront the bully. We can't do that. We can't beat them up in a sense. We can't become the bully. And so we get frustrated because we just don't have the answer for this particular topic. And so there's a lot of strategies that we can use to really help bullying. One of the biggest things is talking to your kids about bullying and teaching them about it so they understand what they're facing. They understand what is happening to them. You know, the way that society is in our media and entertainment, if you watch TV, if you watch the political races, if you watch the news, if you watch pretty much anything on TV, if you listen to music, if you, anything where there's stuff that's being put out, you're constantly seeing bullying happen on a daily basis, because this is just the norm. If you watch the political parties, one person puts the other person down. One party discriminates on the other party. You have so many things that are happening, and this is just what's being put in our kids' brains on a daily basis, that this is okay when it's really not. So the biggest thing to fix bullying is it starts with our leaders, our parents, our teachers, and we need to set an example how to stop this and how to actually behave rather than to act like a bully. And so when you're talking to your kids about bullying, this goes back to our first question. Teach your kids positive self-statements. Teach them that what people are saying about them is not true. If someone calls you fat, if someone calls you ugly, if someone calls you stupid, that is not true, because those are not true statements. You're not fat, you're not ugly, you're not stupid. You are a smart, beautiful person. And you have to really instill those things into your kids so they understand that that is what they are, not what someone else is telling them. You want to encourage them on a daily basis to believe in themselves and believe in what they believe and what you as their parents believe. When they start believing the positive things, everything else just becomes a hearsay, and it doesn't even matter, because that's not what they're going to believe. have a strong belief system, that is going to be very positive. So number one, talk to them and help them understand that what someone else is saying isn't true, and they understand that that positive self-image, that positive self-statement that we're really driving into their head is what they need to believe. Number two is encourage activities. Encourage activities that they actually are interested in. That's going to help them. A lot of times parents will try and put kids into things that they want rather than things that the kids are interested in. And then parents tend to pull kids from things that are actually benefiting them or going to benefit them. And so if your kid has the potential to get better, be smarter, be stronger, and develop in an activity, why pull them from that? Keep them in something that's going to enrich their lives and help them, and surround them with people in these activities and groups that they're a part of that's going to uplift them rather than bring them down. A lot of times if you watch sports and watch your kids play sports, parents become bullies when let's say one of the kids on the basketball team just isn't as good as Johnny, the star athlete. Some of the parents are going to say mean and hurtful things because that one child is too slow or not as good. And now we're teaching bullying all over again. We're teaching them that, hey, this is okay because the parents do it. And that's not what it is. And so we need to find activities for our kids that are going to uplift them, teach them positive things, and really help cater to them as an individual rather than trying to build a team of people that is built around one or two star athletes. So this is how you're supposed to talk to people. This is how you're supposed to treat people. Typically, kids are going to copy someone. They're going to copy a big brother, a big sister, mom or dad, a teacher, a role model. So if you're setting the example for how you're supposed to talk, for how you're supposed to act, then your kids are going to follow. A lot of times parents they're driving. I see so many stories that their parents are driving and then they get road rage because somebody cut them off, and they start saying a few choice words or showing a few choice fingers, and kids start to copy that. They get a call from their kindergarten teacher and they're saying, hey, Bobby just did this or said this to someone. I wonder where he learned it from. So as parents, we have to set the example and teach our kids, this is how you treat someone. This is how you treat mom. This is how you treat dad. This is how you treat your brothers and sisters. This is how you treat your friends. This is how you treat strangers. This is how you treat people that don't look normal to you, that are different. We have to teach our kids what the example is supposed to look like, and we have to teach them this is what you're supposed to be, rather than letting the TV do it, or let YouTube do it, or let their video games do it. Number 4, teach them the golden rule. So many kids have no idea what the golden rule is. 20, 30 years ago, this was a part of everyday life. You had to know what the golden rule is. And so it's important that kids understand that they know what the golden rule is. One of our 3-year-olds in our class said, the golden rule is treating people as if they're important. What better person to answer that question than a 3-year-old, because they have no judgments, they have no preconceived ideas about things. They are just raw and uncut, and that was the most beautiful answer, is to treat people as if they're important. So often do we see things on TV where people are being mistreated, or they're talked down to, or they're being beaten, or they're being something, and they're not being treated importantly. So Teach your kids that you want to treat everyone as if they're important. Ask them, hey, would you destroy your own Xbox? No. Would you throw your PlayStation on the floor? No. Would you spit on your tablet? No. Why would you do those things to other people? And so if we treat everybody as if they're important to us, then we're really understanding the whole purpose of being an exceptional human being. And number 5, stay involved in your kid's life. Don't let your kids just come home, say hi, go to their room, hop on YouTube, and just stay in the room and be a hermit. You really want to be involved in their life. Be active in what they're doing. Go to their classes. Go to their activities. Support them. Be their number one cheerleader and be there for them. Never tell them that you're too tired to do something. You always want to be involved in their lives, because you have to think about this. You only have roughly 18 summers with your kids. 18 summers. If you take 90 days times 18, that's how many days you really have with them. Throughout the school year, they have school and homework, and they go to bed early, but in the summertime, that's really your family time for vacations and activities. But if you think about it, you're not going to get the full 18. Typically 12, 13, 14, they want to hang out with their friends. They don't want to be around us parents. And so value the time that you have and be involved in their lives. Never let something be more important than your family, because that's all you have is your family. And then our last question for the day is, how do I get my kids to listen? That's one of the biggest questions that we get. I see so many parents struggle with this, and this is a very easy answer, a very easy thing to get working for us as parents. Typically as parents, there's 3 kinds of parents. One, you have the very lenient parent where the kids just walk all over them and the kids will just do whatever they want. And then you have the very strict, stern drill sergeant parent who in a sense scares the kids into listening. And then you have the parent in the middle who is friendly but firm, who's strict but still has fun. And so this is the parent that we need to be. We ultimately need to learn how to be a parent. There really isn't, when you have a baby, there really isn't anything that you already know about parenting. You just kind of wing it. And then once you have 2 or 3 kids, you kind of understand how things work. And so as parenting goes, the biggest thing is how you talk to your kids. How you talk to your kids will get them to listen or not listen to you. If you're telling them you have to stop this and do this, and the tone of your voice is a certain way that the kids aren't going to resonate with, you're not going to get them to listen to you. The biggest thing is how you're talking to them, how you're speaking. Are you looking down on them when you're talking? Are you looking down, or are you getting down to their level, looking them in their eye? What is the tone of your voice? Is there passion in your voice, or are you frustrated? Are you upset? So the biggest thing that you want to really teach your kids is that you're there for them. You're there to help them, and you're there to make them better. You're not there to hurt them or make them feel bad. We're teaching those positive self-statements. We're really being involved in their lives, and we have to let them understand that if they don't know that, they're not going to connect with us as parents. So you want to get down to their level, and look them in the eye, and talk to them that way. Don't talk down to them, and don't tell them that they have to do this or they have to stop, or else don't give them these crazy consequences. Tommy, if you don't listen to me, you're never going to get your iPhone back. Don't tell them stuff that way, because now you're making threats. You're becoming that bully. You have to tell them why they need to do these things. Honey, we can't eat cookies before dinner because mommy made a really good dinner tonight, and if we eat cookies, we're going to ruin our appetite. I know that you want one. Let's save one for after dinner so you have a treat for after we eat. Easy way to get our kids to listen to us and understand that this thing is not good for them. When you get kids that are constantly arguing with you, they have a thought process that they think something is good for them, or they think they're right. So we have to, in a sense, have a debate and tell them and let them understand why we're saying what we're doing and why we're making the decisions that we're making, rather than just saying, this is the way it goes, take it or leave it, I don't care. Kids are not going to resonate with that. You have to go back and think like you're a kid. Think back when you were a kid and your parents talked to you. Think about those times that you just didn't want to listen, and reverse engineer that. When you were in that same situation and experiencing the same thing, how did you react to it? If it wasn't a good reaction, now you know exactly how you can fix it, how you can talk to them. I said this, I believe last week in our show, that I had a coach when I used to fight. I would have a coach who would always tell me every single thing that I was doing wrong. He never told me anything that I was doing right. And I would lose every fight for about 2 years. I never knew what I was doing right, so I couldn't improve. And the minute I started hearing, hey, this is what you're doing right, continue doing this, don't do these things anymore because they're not working, but let's really stick to this, I was able to start winning again. And I would have an undefeated next couple of years because of what I was hearing. And so when you really educate your kids on a specific topic of why they should do something and why they have to do something, it becomes easier to get them to listen rather than just giving them this ultimatum: you better listen to me or you have to sit in the corner for the rest of the night. Well, you're scaring them into doing that, and it's not going to be helpful in the long run. So we really want to make sure kids understand why they're doing things, why they need to do things, and ultimately that is going to help them be better listeners. So those are our questions today: how to build your kids' confidence, tips on bullying, and how to get your kids to listen better. Hopefully these were some awesome answers for you guys and they answered your questions. If they helped and they were beneficial to you, please hit the like button and share this video. If you have questions, you can submit them via email, via Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Email me directly at mastershields@championsmac.com. Twitter is at mastershields. Snapchat is ericshields253. However you can get a hold of me, send me a message, a tweet, a Facebook message, a Snapchat with your question. I would absolutely love to answer your questions next week. Until next week, guys, get your questions in, and I will talk to you on Tuesday.